So I was going to play a clip where the always demented Jesse Lee Peterson claims in the wake of a young pastor's suicide that no true Christian can be suicidal or depressed. But I think I'll skip that due to time constraints and skip to this final story about a twisted fundamentalist preacher or pastor who pretty much says dogs are worthless and you should kill them if they get in the way of evangelizing. As an animal lover, especially dogs, this one really got under my skin, and I culled out this clip from an episode of The Drunken Peasants. Here it is.
All right, let's listen to
it. If there's an animal that's prohibiting anything about humankind, kill it. Amen. People will be like, well, I can't go out soul winning. Who's going to watch Little Fido? Bring him over. I got a gun.
Hold up, G-Time. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
He says, like, you know, if you need someone to take care of your dog, just kill it. And then just get a new one, I guess.
No, he doesn't say replace it, does he?
I don't know.
If you have to euthanize your dog because you can't take care of it, you don't get another dog.
Hold on.
Can't go out soul winning. Who's going to watch Little Fido? If there's an animal that's prohibiting anything about humankind, kill it. Oh. People will be like, well, I can't go out soul winning. Who's going to watch Little Fido? Bring him over. I got a gun.
What the why are they laughing?
Kill.
I want to call this guy's bluff. My dog is relatively old, and he recently just got sick, and he's actually in a issue where he's actually in medical danger, which is the thing I was mentioning earlier, where I have to be moving. But I don't want to call his bluff. I'll bring my dog over. Are you going to shoot him?
Oh, if I tried to call his bluff and he shot my dog, there would be one more murder after that. I couldn't.
Right?
I couldn't let someone do that to my bubs.
I don't believe him.
I can't.
So this is Steadfast Baptist Church, either in Oklahoma City or Jacksonville, Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Those areas seem to line up with this sort of thinking.
I wanted to get some context because like the way the guy is dressed and like Steve McRae is right on it too. Like this reminds me of Steven Anderson, Something Fierce.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But fuck, dude, that's a little bit far even for them.
This is Steven Glanderson.
It's kind of bizarre to go, I'm going to kill your pet.
Not even I'm going to kill your pet. He's like, hey, if your dog, if you can't watch your dog, bring him to me. I'll shoot him in the fucking head. This is next level. Psycho.
Well, he also said something about soloing, which now, if I'm understanding the context correctly, he means if I want to go out for a night and I need somebody to watch my dog. You should be able to go out for a night if you have a dog. Dogs aren't that needy.
Yeah.
I could leave my dog alone for a day, like a full 24 hours. As long as I took him out and he made sure he went for a run, I could come back within 24 hours and he would be perfectly fine. The house would not be destroyed. He's not kenneled. He'd be perfectly content and he would have no issues. Leave him some food and water, he'd be fine.
Let's see some more of this dude.
Yeah, exactly. Let's give him some more rope to hang himself with because I can't see this getting any better.
Why would you let a dog stop you from doing the work of the Lord? Yeah. It's good.
Soloing, is that like when you go out and you spread the word of the Lord? And he's saying kill your dog if you can't go out and spread the word of the Lord?
Street epistemology? Hold on. Isn't it humanity's job, as per the Bible and as per a lot of evangelical Christian stance, to take care of the world, which would include taking care of animals? Which means their responsibility that responsibility would supersede anything that, like, you don't need to tell people about God. God can tell people about God. Doesn't he do that?
Yeah, right? You would think, but they got to spread the word. If they don't spread the word, they're spreading Christianity, they're spreading the gospel, people are going to go to hell.
Going to die, and its spirit's going to return down into the dust. You're never going to see it again. You know what? That soul that you save, it's going to go with you to heaven.
Oh, dogs don't.
Look, I'm not saying let's just.
Heaven.
All dogs go to heaven.
The Don Bluth movie is a lie. Dogs apparently do not go to heaven. He goes to dust and nothing else. Dogs don't have souls. Animals don't have souls. Only people have souls. So go fuck your dog.
I thought he just said the dog will go to with you in heaven. I thought you just
No,
said
he
that.
said the dog will turn to dust, but the soul you saved via whatever you're you're sacrificing the dog to save a soul,
No,
and the dog's soul doesn't go to heaven, it returns to dust.
Okay.
All right, so there it was. And for you YouTube viewers, that guy in the top left is Ben, one of the hosts of the Drunken Peasants, and who's actually holding his long-haired Chihuahua. And that's what kind of dog I have. Actually, my last 2 dogs have been long-haired Chihuahua. Long-haired Chihuahuas are good people. So, yeah, I think they were trying to figure out what the guy was saying. They were saying he might be saying soloing. I think he might have been saying soul winning, as in evangelizing. I'm not sure about that. And that woman you were hearing, that is Cheshire Vic. She's actually the co-host of a show Steve McRae does on YouTube. Seems like good people. I like Cheshire Vic, and she's been appearing on The Drunken Peasants recently. And she made a great point that, that's pretty extreme, man. Killing your dog because it might keep you from going out and doing something. What kind of situation would there be where your dog would keep you in? I have a dog, and I work all day. I go out and do social stuff here and there. I run errands. As a pet owner, there's always that heartbreaking moment where you leave the house and the dog looks up at you with these big sad eyes. But everything will be fine. You'll be back before you know it, and the dog will be all happy again. But the dog doesn't keep you from doing things unless, maybe if you had a dog that was very ill that you constantly had to take care of and make sure that it had medicine on time or something like that. And this guy's reasoning apparently is that since animals have no souls, it doesn't matter. That animal's gonna die, and that's the end of it. But the person that you might save through, evangelizing will be with you in heaven, and their soul is eternal or immortal or whatever. First of all, I've always been very put off by this idea I hear come from some Christians that animals don't have souls. So they're lesser, they're relatively disposable. They're, the only reason why they're here is as resources from mankind, the crown of God's creation, Even if you look in the Bible, I think that's open to interpretation. Often, I think in the Hebrew Bible, it's the breath of life that is pretty much talked about as what we would think of as the soul. And I think both man and animals, and technically we are animals, are described as having the breath of life. So I don't think it's a case closed thing that the Bible says animals don't have souls. Now, don't get me wrong, as a non-believer, as a skeptic, I personally doubt the existence of any immortal soul, whether we're talking about a human or a dog. But it's the sentiment that I resent about it. It's this very kind of cold, mean-spirited attitude that animals are lesser and are disposable. I think it's also a very short-sighted, egocentric kind of view, too. Because, we can look at animals, especially the kind of higher mammals like a dog or something, and we can see how much we have in common. We can see that they have some kind of inner emotional life. You can see that there's a kind of light in the eyes, that there seems to be some kind of, understanding or theory of mind there. They're sensitive, sentient, living creatures that are certainly capable of feeling pain and fear. And I think that alone makes them deserving of our compassion and stewardship. And let's say for the sake of argument that souls do exist. I don't see any reason why a human would have one and not a dog. Once again, we can look at other animals and see how much they have in common with us, especially the more advanced mammals. And if souls did exist, why would we have them and not them? And let's say for the sake of argument, we had souls and they didn't. Aren't they still deserving of compassion and care while they're here. And in fairness to Christians, I know these guys are kind of extreme and they don't represent all Christians. And I think, once again, this hateful view is kind of diametrically opposed to some things we can find in the Old Testament. There's the story of Balaam, the story of the guy who beat his donkey, and finally an angel of the Lord intervenes, and the donkey is given a voice and kind of cries out asking, "Why'd you beat me?" and this and that, And if you look at the flood narrative, I believe either in the canonical Bible or in an apocryphal version, there's a point made that eating meat is not an ideal situation. It was a concession that was made after the flood. So there seems to be, even in the Bible, places where kindness to animals and the importance of animals as creations of God is emphasized. So in that sense, these guys seem to go against their own religion. But what a deranged, deluded, nasty hominid this guy is. I was going to make a comment about how I hope a pack of wild dogs gets a hold of him. He's processed through their digestive systems and they go on to live happily ever after. But I guess, I kind of did just say that, didn't I? But also, this guy's so smug and smiling about his desire to, nonchalantly want to kill a dog. There are animal cruelty laws, you piece of shit. I'm getting worked up.